Let's return to the evolving situation in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, of course, where we understand there is another attempt underway, or about to be another attempt, to execute an arrest warrant for the impeached President Yoon Suk Yeol. Let's talk to our correspondent Shaima Khalil, who is in Seoul for us. So, Shaima, bring us up to date, shed more light on what is happening there.
Well, we're very, very close to the outer premises of the presidential residence. Let me just show you around a little bit. These are dozens and dozens of police officers that have surrounded the area, also much, much further, really, from the entrance. We're very close to an alleyway that leads to the entrance, and we understand that CIO, which is the corruption investigation officers, that tried to get close and tried to get into the presidential residence last time, they're now here in the outer premises. If I could just show you here behind me, right here is where the anti-Yoon protesters have gathered. There were chants saying, "Arrest Yoon, arrest him." It's a bit of a festive atmosphere here. People here feel that the arrest is imminent. Well, over there, a little bit further to the entrance, is the pro-Yoon protesters, his supporters, and they have been charged, they've been tensed, and they're actually in large numbers. They've gathered in large numbers, and their chants remain the same: stop the steal. These are claims that President Yoon has made, unfounded claims about the parliamentary elections that he used as reasons for the martial law that he has announced on December 3rd. And really, this is the reason why we're all here, why all of this is happening. Apart from the Constitutional Court hearing for his impeachment that started yesterday, this is a different case. He's now being investigated by criminal investigators, by corruption investigators and police, of alleged insurrection and abuse of power, both related to the martial law declaration on December 3rd. What they're trying to do now is a second attempt in trying to arrest the president. Ideally, for the police and for the investigators, what they're going to try and do is get as close as possible to the entrance, which is behind me, get into the residence compound, actually get to the president and attempt to arrest him. The last time they tried that, they were blocked by a wall of people of President's security team. So far, we haven't heard that the president's security staff is going to cooperate. And so they're expecting a standoff. We don't know how long it's going to last. We understand that they've ramped up the numbers. We understand that about 1,000 police officers have been deployed. That's more than 8 times the number that was there last time. They are saying that they want to avoid confrontation, avoid bloodshed. They want this operation to go smoothly, but we do not understand, or we do not know, whether the police security staff is going to make it easy for them. Last time, the standoff lasted 6 hours and then the police withdrew. They seem more determined now, but it's unclear how long it's going to last.
And obviously, Shaima, lots of people there in South Korea worried about the prospect of some clash between different branches of the authorities, between the police and the presidential guard, for example.
Absolutely, and I think this is the crisis. This is a picture of the crisis, the political crisis that South Korea finds itself in, because essentially you have 2 branches of executive power. You've got the police, the investigation, essentially law enforcement officers that have a legal arrest warrant that they're trying to execute, and they're being blocked by the presidential security staff, the presidential security brief, if you will, the Secret Service for our American audience. And so essentially, that brings up the question, well, who's in charge? Both say that they're following orders, both say that they're following the rule of law, and they're going to stick to their positions. But what that then tells you is that there are potential clashes between those 2 orders of power: the president, his security, the police, and the investigators. All of this is happening while the president himself is yet to stand trial, or is yet to appear in an impeachment trial. So this is, in a way, 2 parallel crises happening all at once, with the South Korean public watching in real time, with anti-Yoon protesters on one side, pro-Yoon protesters on the other side. This is really the picture of the political drama that South Korea finds itself in right now.
And of course, with many other countries, yes, all of South Korea, but many countries around the world who view South Korea as a solid democratic ally in this region, watching on as well.
Do you know, it's really, really interesting you should mention that, because I remember when Donald Trump was elected, we were covering his election here and what that will mean for the region. I was in Japan, and there was some political turmoil in Japan, and saying that Japan is a stable democracy, and what will that mean for the president and his approach. But if you would have asked anyone, if you would ask me or anyone following the region a couple of months ago, if saying that South Korea would descend into this political division, descend into the political chaos that it has, no one could have expected this. There was all that tension brewing within President Yoon's camp, within the opposition, especially with the parliamentary elections and the fact that the opposition has won an astounding majority. But it remained within the tense clashes of Korean democracy. No one could have imagined that it would descend to this, and I think everyone looking on is going to be looking on with great worry, because South Korea has a lot more to worry about than just domestic politics. North Korea has just fired a missile yesterday. We're a couple of days away from the inauguration of Donald Trump. This was seen as a stable American ally in the region, and now it is not stable. That will mean a lot more beyond its domestic politics, beyond the borders of South Korea and the region.
Okay, Shaima, for the moment, thank you very much. Shaima Khalil there in Seoul, in South Korea. We'll keep a very close eye on that situation and see if that arrest warrant for Mr. Yoon is carried out or not.